What if I told you that in just 72 hours you could reset your body's inflammatory response by a staggering 60%? No expensive supplements, no extreme exercise routines, just a simple but powerful protocol developed by researchers at Stanford University. Welcome back to Wall of Health, where we cut through the hype to bring you evidence-based strategies for living longer and healthier. Today we're diving deep into what might be one of the most underrated anti-inflammatory interventions ever studied. Before we begin, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week we're exposing the longevity supplement that actually works and 3 that waste your money. And trust me, the results might shock you. The inflammation problem. Chronic inflammation has been called the silent killer of our generation, and for good reason. It's linked to virtually every major age-related disease: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's and dementia, autoimmune conditions, even certain types of cancer. But what exactly is inflammation? At its core, it's your body's natural defense mechanism, a complex biological response to harmful stimuli like pathogens, damaged cells, or irritants. When working properly, it's actually essential for healing. The problem comes when this response doesn't shut off. Chronic inflammation occurs when your immune system continues to pump out inflammatory cytokines like IL-6, TNF-alpha, and C-reactive protein long after they're needed. These molecular signals essentially keep your body in a constant state of alert, like a fire alarm that never stops ringing. This persistent inflammatory state damages tissues, accelerates aging, and creates the perfect environment for disease to take hold. And here's the kicker. Modern lifestyles are practically designed to keep inflammation chronically elevated. Processed foods, chronic stress, poor sleep, environmental toxins, sedentary behavior. Each of these factors independently triggers inflammatory pathways. Combined, they create the perfect inflammatory storm. The Stanford Discovery. In 2019, researchers at Stanford Medicine made a groundbreaking discovery. Led by Dr. Valter Longo and his team, they found that a specific 3-day protocol could dramatically reset the body's inflammatory markers, dropping them by approximately 60%. The study, published in the journal Cell, investigated the effects of a carefully designed fasting-mimicking diet on inflammatory markers and cellular regeneration. What makes this research particularly compelling is that it wasn't just a small pilot study. It involved multiple clinical trials with hundreds of participants and was later corroborated by additional research at USC and the Longevity Institute. The researchers measured multiple inflammatory markers, including C-reactive protein, CRP, IL-6, TNF-alpha, various pro-inflammatory cytokines. The results were consistent across subjects, a significant and rapid reduction in systemic inflammation after just 3 days on the protocol. But what was perhaps most surprising was the lasting effect. Even after returning to normal eating patterns, many participants maintained lower inflammatory markers for weeks following the 3-day reset. Dr. Longo described it as pressing the reset button on your immune system, essentially clearing out damaged cells and allowing for regeneration. How the 3-day reset works. So what exactly is this protocol? At its core, it's a carefully calibrated fasting-mimicking diet, FMD, that tricks your body into thinking it's fasting while still providing essential nutrients. Here's the day-by-day breakdown. Day 1, approximately 1,100 calories, 500 calories from complex carbohydrates, vegetables like broccoli, tomatoes, carrots, pumpkin, mushrooms, 500 calories from healthy fats, nuts, olive oil. 100 calories from plant proteins, legumes, plenty of water, herbal tea, no caffeine. Day 2 and 3, approximately 800 calories, 400 calories from complex carbohydrates, same vegetable sources, 400 calories from healthy fats, minimal protein. Continued hydration with water and herbal tea. What's happening in your body during these 3 days is fascinating. Hours 12, 24, glucose stores become depleted. Insulin levels drop significantly. Your body begins shifting to fat metabolism. Hours 24, 48, autophagy, cellular cleaning, ramps up. Damaged immune cells begin breaking down. Ketone production increases. Hours 48, 72. Significant stem cell activation begins. Major reduction in inflammatory signaling molecules. Your body begins regenerating immune cells. This cellular spring cleaning is what researchers believe drives the dramatic reduction in inflammatory markers. By day 3, participants in the Stanford study showed approximately 60% lower levels of key inflammatory markers compared to their baseline. The science of cellular renewal. What makes this protocol so effective is that it triggers multiple anti-inflammatory pathways simultaneously. First, it activates autophagy, your body's internal recycling system that clears out damaged cellular components. Think of it as taking out the cellular trash that would otherwise continue triggering inflammatory responses. Second, the protocol reduces the activity of the mTOR pathway, a critical regulator of cell growth that, when overactive, can drive inflammation. Modern diets high in protein and calories keep mTOR perpetually active, which is great for building muscle but problematic for longevity and inflammation control. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the protocol triggers what scientists call immune system recalibration. During the 3-day reset, many older, damaged immune cells that tend to be pro-inflammatory get cleared out through a process called apoptosis. When you return to normal eating, your body generates new immune cells that are naive, meaning they don't have the same inflammatory programming as their predecessors. This essentially gives your immune system a fresh start, with research showing that up to 30% of immune cells can be regenerated during this process. Dr. Longo describes it as getting rid of the old damaged parts of the immune system and creating new, younger immune cells. Real-world results. The Stanford protocol has now been tested in multiple clinical settings, and the results consistently show significant benefits beyond just inflammation reduction. Participants in these studies reported reduced joint pain and stiffness, improved energy levels, better mental clarity, improved insulin sensitivity, reduction in allergic symptoms. One particular case study involved a 54-year-old woman with rheumatoid arthritis who had consistently elevated CRP levels around 9 mgl after completing the 3-day protocol. Her CRP dropped to 3.5 mgl and remained lower for nearly a month afterward. Another participant, a 62-year-old man with metabolic syndrome, saw his fasting insulin levels drop by 50% following the protocol, with sustained improvements in his inflammatory markers for weeks afterward. What's particularly remarkable is how consistent the results have been across different populations, from healthy adults looking to optimize performance to individuals with chronic inflammatory conditions. The protocol appears to be especially beneficial for adults over 40 experiencing age-related inflammation, people with autoimmune tendencies, those with metabolic issues like insulin resistance, individuals with persistent digestive inflammation. How to implement the protocol safely. While the research is compelling, it's important to approach this protocol with the right preparation and knowledge. First, who should not do this protocol? Pregnant or breastfeeding women, people with a history of eating disorders, those who are underweight or malnourished, individuals with certain medical conditions like diabetes, unless under doctor supervision. Anyone under 18 years old. For everyone else, here's how to prepare. Consult your healthcare provider, especially important if you have any existing health conditions or take medications. Transition gradually. Don't go from a standard American diet straight into the protocol. Plan your calendar. Choose 3 days when you don't have high-intensity obligations or major social events centered around food. Stock up properly. Get all necessary foods in advance. Plenty of vegetables, nuts, olive oil, and herbal teas. Monitor your response. Keep track of how you feel. Mild hunger and slight fatigue are normal, but severe symptoms are not. Many people find it helpful to do this reset once per quarter, though some research suggests that even doing it once can create lasting changes in inflammatory pathways. The key is consistency with the protocol. The specific calorie counts and macronutrient ratios are important for triggering the biological mechanisms we've discussed. Beyond the reset, maintaining results. While the 3-day reset can dramatically lower inflammation, maintaining those benefits requires attention to your everyday habits. Here are the evidence-based strategies that work synergistically with the reset protocol. Focus on an anti-inflammatory diet. Emphasize omega-3 rich foods, colorful vegetables and fruits, olive oil, nuts and seeds, while minimizing processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and industrial seed oils. Prioritize sleep quality. Just 1 night of poor sleep can increase inflammatory markers by 30%. Aim for 7-9 hours of quality sleep in a cool, dark room. Manage stress effectively. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, which drives inflammation. Regular stress reduction practices like meditation, deep breathing, or nature walks can significantly lower inflammatory cytokines. Move regularly. Moderate exercise is powerfully anti-inflammatory. You don't need extreme workouts, even 30 minutes of daily walking has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers. Consider time-restricted eating. Limiting your daily eating window to 10 hours can help maintain the metabolic benefits initiated by the reset protocol. The beauty of this approach is that once you've reset your inflammatory baseline with the 3-day protocol, these maintenance strategies become more effective, creating a virtuous cycle of improved health. Conclusion. We've covered a lot today, but the core message is simple yet powerful. In just 3 days, you can significantly reset your body's inflammatory processes, potentially setting yourself up for improved health for weeks afterward. The Stanford Protocol isn't a miracle cure, but it represents one of the most efficient interventions we have for rapidly reducing systemic inflammation, the common denominator in almost all age-related diseases. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more evidence-based health content. And don't forget to turn on notifications for next week's video, where I'll be revealing the longevity supplement that actually works and 3 that waste your money. Drop a comment below if you've tried any form of fasting protocol and share your experience, or let me know if you have questions about implementing this reset safely. This is Wall of Health, where we explore proven health, breakthrough science, and longevity habits. See you in the next video.